So here I have a shape going through an auto scroll of modifier scroll, and we can see that it's comprised of some large booleans and some smaller booleans. So whenever it comes to face extract, it replaces the ability to basically shift click on smart apply, which will give you a smart apply clone, causing you to then go in edit mode, select the piece you want, press I to inset, press Alt I to invert, and delete faces, and then from here we can go in object mode and put a solidify on this shape, press 2 to push it both ways, and then from there select both and add a difference. And with that, we have just set up what face extract does, but manually, and there's quite a few key presses to that, even though I'm a big fan of smart apply clone. So let us delete this, and let's press Q, and we go under mesh tools and we choose face extract. So now that we're in this mode, once we click, we are able to extract this face, which we can already see is looking better than ever compared to previous updates. And then if we press spacebar to progress, we see that during the inset process, it can get a little bit hairy because of these smaller cuts that are being inset on this particular piece that we then click and then perform the extrusion on. So of course at the end, we could press tab and we can just grab the points that go wayward and ctrl X dissolve them, for they should not exist. However, what if we wanted to perform a face extract without basically using the smaller booleans as part of its calculation? Well, let's jump into face extract again, and we see that there's now a dot, and a dot means that there's a dot UI. So once we click it, we now see a list of all the modifiers, and from here, just clicking on which modifiers we want to remove, we can see that they are basically being toggled off, allowing us a simpler way to perform this face extraction. So once I select this face and press spacebar, the first thing you're going to notice is all these mods are going to be reactivated because they were activated to begin with, but the shape that we're deriving is not receiving all of those notches that were causing us difficulties before. In fact, we can even see the extra point that was causing us some issues present at this point. So once we bring it in a little bit, we can click and extrude it inwards, click and apply, and just like that, we have now performed a face extract using an earlier version of the mesh to perform its extraction. So to show it again, we could press Q, go under mesh tools, choose face extract, and from here we can just toggle off which modifiers we don't want to affect. So for example, let's say we don't even want this modifier present, so we just toggle it off. We select this piece. We might want to toggle off some of these upwards notches just because they might cause us a little bit of difficulty, something like that, and we're good to go. So now, once we've extracted this piece, it's just a lot simpler for us to deal with, especially if we were wanting to cut a little lip on this area like you're seeing me do here. So just some very basic improvements whenever it comes to face extract, but face extract is definitely on its way to becoming a mainstay whenever it comes to HardOps. In addition to the improvements brought by the .UI and the ability to toggle modifiers, we've also added some advanced selection capabilities whenever it comes to performing selections inside of face extract. So here, I'm just setting myself up to perform an extraction. If I click this face and then click this face, let's say I didn't actually want this selection, I can just press Alt A and it will deselect. But most importantly is now you can click a face and select it and then control click in order to select everything in between. So if I was wanting to perform a face extraction of this entire loop, I can just control click my entire way around, similar to if I was working in edit mode. And then from here, we just press spacebar, we're going to perform our inset and then click from here, and we're now performing our solidification. However, let's take a look at this shape, and we see that because of all the extra information that's being caught up in this, we're having some issues with this geometry being able to work out. So first, let's delete this point because it's extra. Let's see, maybe moving these points would improve things, and I'm thinking not. So for the most part, it is better if we were to dissolve them. So let's just dissolve it, giving us something a lot cleaner. And then from here, once we come out of local mode, we can see that our boolean was able to go through successfully. So if I press Q, go to solidify, we can reduce the amount of solidification, giving us something that's a little bit more complete instead of cutting all the way through it. But just wanted to demonstrate a little bit of how I use face extract when it comes to both the selection area of control clicking to select a range of faces, Alt A to deselect, and then the ability to use the .UI.